Brighton Beach Busking presents
Meg, yeah man, Talman, Alex, Ian, Paul. Welcome to
the Busking Break.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
The show where we interview your favourite Brighton Beach Buskers, finding out the stories behind the musicians that sound our streets.
Had a bit of a day off today, so
This is probably quite the journey to become the musician you are today.
Make sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you do not miss an episode. So come with us and be part of this journey.
It's my turn to ask you a question.
It is my turn to ask you a question.
I saw you basking yesterday.
can I ask you a question?
You can?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
The question is,
Right, so now I'm going to ask you a question.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of The Busking Break, filmed at the Works Pier. I am August Radio Project, and if you didn't know, as well as interviewer, YouTube creator, musician, I am also a busker here in Brighton. So all the buskers that I have interviewed decided that they wanted to ask me questions too. This is part one of my interview. I hope you enjoy it.
Your artistic name is August Radio Project. What it means?
Okay, so August Radio Project, the way this all came about for me as like an artist, musician, creative, because I don't necessarily regard this as just like a music project. This is like my creative, like I can kind of combine YouTube videos and music, like performance and all these things. But the reason it's called August Radio Project was I didn't want to call it my own name because I wasn't really sure when I made it what it was going to be. I created this project during lockdown, so there was no gigs and stuff. And originally I was just doing live streams because everyone was doing live streams during the pandemic. So I was doing a weekly live stream, and to start with I was using my old band's page. Because my old band, we split up before the pandemic, just sort of right before the pandemic. And then I did some live streams on the old band's page, but I didn't want it to just be the old band, I wanted it to be mine. So I went on a walk and I was trying to think of a name for this. And the idea of Radio Project comes from the fact that every week I was doing this live stream.
Okay.
And August is, the reason it's August is because August is a really significant name. Me and my partner, when we first ever met, we went to Estonia. We went to a place called Tallinn in Estonia, and the first thing we did when we got there is go to a cafe and had some coffee. And the cafe was called August. So like the name August from then on was like this really like kind of important. And it's also the month she was born in.
Oh, really? Okay.
So this name August kind of like stuck with me. So that I just put August on the front of it, and it's just what I've decided to stick with. So that's why it's called August Radio Project.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely different.
Yeah.
What's why you basking and what's your background music?
So I mean, I started busking when I was young, when I was a teenager. Me and my friends used to go to where we grew up. We used to go to the city centre and just busk. And one day we did it, for the first time. And the first time we did it, there was these tour groups. I grew up in Cambridge. So in Cambridge city centre, there's these tour groups of like international students and stuff. And we got this huge crowd, and like out of nowhere, of all these like students. And we were only sort of 13, 14, and it blew my mind. And they all gave us change, and they gave us sweets and stuff, and we thought it was amazing. And then
Telephone number?
when I was in a band, we quite often used it to promote our gig. So we would play a gig, say in Canterbury, and then we'd get there early, busk in the town with a big sign that said playing, the venue at 8 PM tonight. And we started doing this, and it really worked. And once we played at a festival called Beach Break Festival, which isn't a festival anymore, but it was in Newquay in Cornwall. And our set was on like 7 PM on the Sunday. But we got there on the Thursday, and we busked every single day, like 8 hours, whole day. And the whole time we were promoting this show. Come see us at 7 p.m. Come see us at 7 p.m. At the time, we didn't have a big fan base. And it got to the Sunday at 7 p.m. and the venue, like the tent, was sold out. Everyone had come. And from that moment onwards, it was like, this busking thing is so good. Like, you can earn a bit of money. It's a really good way to practice. Like, you rehearse every time you busk, you get better. And also, it's like promotion. It's self-promotion every time.
So busking, technically, you get paid to promote yourself.
And rehearse. It's like the winning combination, right? So, and I think it gets you involved in the community. It means you see people and you see the way they react to music, and I think that it just ticks so many boxes, you know? So that's busking, that's why.
And what's your music? What's your background music? What do you play? What do you listen?
My background in music. So I play guitar, that's my main instrument, and I sing. And like you, I heard Blink-182 for the first time, and I was like, I want to play that. I want to be able to play that. And I then went to see Green Day when I think it was 12 or 13, and I saw them play at the Milton Keynes Bowl, which is if you know about Green Day, they have a live CD, and it was that show that they filmed that live CD, and I watched Billy Joe, and I was like, I want that. I want to do that. This is everything. This is what my life has to be about. So that's how I became, got into music. That's how I, got into guitar and stuff.
Okay.
What is the song that makes you feel the strongest?
The song that makes me feel the strongest.
The strongest, or like the strongest emotion you can conjure up.
The song,
Yeah.
like most people, I have lots of favourite songs, and then I go through phases of like favourite, but the lyric and part of the song that hits me the hardest every time is Bohemian Rhapsody, where he says, sometimes I wish I'd never been born at all.
Yeah.
And I think, like, as a human, everyone, regardless of your beliefs, spiritual beliefs, religions, has this awareness of their mortality. And when I was younger, when you reach that weird age where you suddenly realise you belong in the mortal world, and you go, if I hadn't been born, then I'd never have to have ever dealt with existential dread.
Mm-hmm.
And that hits me like deep somewhere, and it's the game of life. Like, we're all here, not necessarily out of choice, and sometimes we wish we'd never been born at all, and sometimes, like, there's no better miracle. We're here, and we're here for a reason.
I feel like there's a very interesting fundamental. Are we here for a reason?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe we've all got an intrinsic reason we're here. I do. But that lyric is spot on. It sums up life amazing.
I think
It's my time to ask you a question. Give me the dates of your birth, the numbers.
Okay.
Someone asked you the first question. You have to answer this honestly.
Okay.
With your numbers, you're a communicator, integrator, and traveller of knowledge. You have this ability to sense sound, sense sight, and sense, and integrate them. So, and you get either a vision, a sense, or a sight. When was the first time you noticed any strange things or remember anything like that about you that you may never have told anyone, but you know you've experienced it?
Strange things.
It's just energy, or have you had visions that you can see something happening?
Like the future, or
It
just
doesn't matter
in
what a
general?
vision is. It could be an insight, it could be something you actually see, or it could be something you actually hear, or it could be just something you pick up from a physical form or anything.
Huh.
As a child, what was the world like?
I think that for me, I've always noticed that the most important thing is creation. Right from like the word go. I realised like the way like the reason like everyone is here is as a result of creation, and that when you're here, one of the most important things to do is to create. And I think that that's been with me since I can remember. Creating things, creating art, creating music, creating just ideas, and not just having the ideas but manifesting them, making them something.
But how did you first tap into it? Was it a sense of something?
I think so.
So when you tap into this creative idea, what's the first thing you tap into first? Before, is it the thoughts of it, or is it the energy of it, or is it
Energy, for
so
sure.
You have this ability to sense this energy.
For sure, the
And then if
energy.
it's something you want to create, does the energy just get big? Then you just go, right, I've got that. Do you get that idea in some way instantly?
Yeah, I think that you feel the energy, and the more you manifest the idea, the more energy you get. Almost like the idea wants to be born. It wants to become something real.
So when you're feeling that energy, that's what's building your cells.
Uh-huh.
When you're feeling that energy growing, that's what's building your cells. And the field is building outside of you, and that's an ether, like a network that you can communicate from that wise.
Uh-huh.
And then you can create your body inside that
Wow.
energy.
Have you had any issues with any buskers in Brighton so far? And then how have you, if you have you managed to sort of resolved it, or?
Issues with fellow buskers?
Yeah.
The only time I've ever really had an issue with a busker
You don't have to name and shame, I'm just wondering like.
was one of my first ever times busking here. I didn't really know where I should go, right?
Yeah.
And I went down to the upside down house.
Yeah.
I started playing, and I when I sing, I quite like to close my eyes, just get into it. And I'm singing, and I'm just playing, and I had this voice, and they told me to F off. And it was like, oh, F off. What are you doing here? That's what I hear. So I opened my eyes and. To throw me out, right?
What do they play?
He plays guitar, but then he starts laughing, and he was like, ha. He was like, I don't really want you to go. It was funny. It was like his joke.
So he meant it, but he
didn't
dissolved
mean it.
it.
Nah, he didn't mean it.
Okay.
But now we're friends, and it's all cool.
Is that someone who plays quite a lot outside the upside down house?
Yeah.
Is it quite
He's
a bit
really
cockney?
good blues guitar player.
I think I know the guy.
He's a
quite
really
nice
nice guy.
actually. Yeah, I respect him a
But
couple of times.
in the moment, my heart was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I've taken someone, like this is my third time busking in Brighton. I was like, I've taken his spot, I've done the wrong thing. And he just looked at me like, nah.
There is no busker in Brighton that has the right of over a certain.
No, for
Like,
sure.
I personally, I love to play outside the upside down house. If someone's there, I won't play there.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going to get triggered by it. I'm just going to carry on to the next pitch.
But to be honest, I've only found other buskers to be friendly, welcoming, supportive.
Yeah.
I haven't had any trouble
Is
with
there any that
fellow
annoy
buskers.
you?
Any that
Or that
annoy
you
me?
find annoying?
No,
If
I
someone's
don't
busking
think so.
within like, not necessarily earshot, but like the next available pitch.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever had that?
I don't think so. Occasionally there'll be like somebody that will put music on, maybe.
Oh yeah,
You had
Bluetooth
that.
speakers, yeah. That can
And
be a
you're
bit
playing, and then somebody just within earshot decides they're going to listen to some songs.
I think they don't realise the impact it has.
What's your craziest busking experience? What's like the most horrible thing someone's said to you?
Horrible. I haven't had anything too horrible happen. So my lowest was I kind of combine being a musician with a YouTuber. That's my thing, right?
Yeah.
So I do these like hilarious kind of YouTube music based challenges.
Right.
And I did this thing where I bought a guitar from GAC, second-hand guitar, and I tried to busk back how much I'd spent on the guitar within 24 hours. So I was busking for like 7 hours or something, 7 or 8 hours down on the seafront, and I was playing like the same kind of hour-long set over and over, and eventually it made a shopkeeper get annoyed.
Yeah.
And
It would.
yeah, although I thought it was a little bit out of order because the shopkeeper said that I was good, but it was too repetitive, and she found it annoying.
Yeah.
And I got the whole thing on camera, and watching it back, I still think it's silly. And the worst thing is every time I go to that part of the beachfront now, I feel very uncomfortable. I have to I've looked up the shop opening hours and I don't go there when they're open. So that's probably my lowest. So not too bad.
What is music to you? How do you feel about it?
So the big sort of overarching statement is music is my life. But I think bigger than that, music is life. Like you said, it's the universal language. You can go anywhere in the world and start playing music, and you don't need to be able to speak the language. It's understood. And for me, music, again, like you said, it plays an integral part into my actual well-being. A couple of days go past where I haven't played it and I feel it, you know? So for me, it's just this integral thing. And I feel that anybody that is a musician or wants to become a musician, once you start to play music, you notice what it does to people when you play it. It brings people together, it, lifts people's spirits. You can have an evening with friends where you get the guitar out and you start playing, and it's a monumental, joyous evening where everyone remembers that time. And I think that, like you said, that is understood by everyone, but maybe not so valued across the board. But for me, that's the most important thing. It's if you can reach somebody with music, whether it's just, a quiet evening with friends where you play some songs and everyone's singing and just having a good time, or it's playing on the beachfront of Brighton and the children stop and they're mesmerised by what you do, or it's, playing a big gig with lots of people roaring and singing the songs. It's just so integral, and I think that for me, music is that. It's just a fundamental part of life.
Beautiful.
Thank you for watching the Busking Break here on the Brighton Beach Busking YouTube channel. If you haven't already, then please click subscribe, like this video, and hit the notifications bell so you know when videos have been posted. Go and check out our busking guests. All their links are in the description. I have been your host, August Radio Project. If you're a musician, creative, and you like challenges, or you need some tips and tricks, then go and check out my YouTube channel, also linked in the description. Thank you to Works for welcoming us to the Works Pier and believing in the project. If you're a creative looking for workspace in Brighton, contact Works through the details in the description. They offer co-working, craft space, sound studios, offices, meeting rooms, and more. Also, thank you to Mug Time for the wonderful mugs. You can find the link to their Amazon shop in the description below. And thank you to you for watching the Busking Break. And I'm sure I will see you in the next one. Thank you.